Hi everybody and welcome. Today's project is going to be a quick release buckle collar, and it is going to be themed for Earth Day. The supplies that you're going to need for this project are, I am using a 1-inch nickel plated quick release buckle and a 1-inch nickel plated O-ring. The cords that we'll be using today are, we're going to be using all 550 paracord. My double cow's hitch is hooked up with Coyote brown. And if you're not familiar with how to do a double cow's hitch, I'll leave a link below. I show you guys how to do the double cow's hitch on a quick release buckle and on the square rings that you would use for an adapter. I also show you how to put it on your jig if you're not familiar with how to do that. So again, I'm using the Coyote brown for the double cow's hitch hookup. I'm also going to be using blue and neon green striped, grass green, holy guacamole and white spiral, and baby blue. So to start, I'm going to be adding my holy guacamole, and what I want to do here is I want to loosen up my two cow's hitches just a little bit. I am using a paracord needle. If you don't have one, it's quite alright. You can melt the end of your cord a little bit to make a hard cap so you can push it through. So what I want to do with this cord is I want to go just straight through the double cow's hitches. So I'm going to go from right to left, and I'm going to go in between one cow's hitch, in between the other cow's hitch, over to the other side, and I'll pull the middle of the cord to the top of my work. The next cord that I'm going to be adding is the grass green, and what I want to do with this one is basically the same thing that I just did with the holy guacamole cord. I'm going to just go through those two cow's hitches. I'm going to loosen them up just a tad bit more. Okay, so I'm going to go right to left through those cow's hitches, and I'll bring the cord to the middle at the top of my work. The next cord that I'm going to be adding is the neon green and blue striped cord. And what I want to do here is I want to go in between this first cow's hitch that is on my right. I'm going to go towards the left underneath this first stitch, underneath this second stitch, and come up the left side and come up the left cow's hitch right through the middle. So I'm going to go in between the first, underneath the first stitch, underneath the second stitch, and come up the middle of the second cow's hitch towards the left. Pull this cord to the middle at the top of your work. The last cord that I'm going to be adding is the baby blue, and I'm going to do exactly what I just did with the neon green and blue striped. I'm just going to go in between that first cow's hitch, underneath those two stitches towards the left, come up the second cow's hitch, and bring the middle of the cord to the top of my work. Alright, once you have your work to the top and in the middle, you can roll up some of your ends. You can roll up your Coyote cord as well as your holy guacamole cord. The other ones we are going to leave loose because we're going to be feeding them through the O-ring. I do suggest double checking your measurements just to make sure nothing moved around, and we can get started. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pin my O-ring to the top of my work. I work on an inclining desk, so it tends to roll down on me. So I'm going to be starting off on my right side with my Coyote. What I want to do here is I want to go underneath this first cord on my right up the middle, and then over that second cord. So you're basically just going right up the middle and over. So I'm going to take the one on the right, go underneath, right up the middle, and then over. Take your Coyote on the left side now and go underneath the cord that you just worked. And you're going to go underneath this first cord now that is on your left, right up the middle, and then over that second cord on your right. So go underneath, right up the middle, and then over. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your holy guacamole on your right side. You want to go underneath all of your work and you're going to come up the middle, and then you're going to go down this loop on your right side. So take the holy guacamole on your right side, go underneath, right up the middle, and then you have your loop here on your right side. You're going to go down that loop. Take the one on the left. You're going to go underneath all of your work, right up the middle again, and then down this loop on your left side. So go underneath, right up the middle, and then down this loop on your left side. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking my grass cord on my right side, and I want to push it through the O-ring. So what I like to do is I loop it up so I can push it through the O-ring and then pull that loop through, and then you can pull that loose cord. Next, you are going to find the two horizontal Coyote pieces that are directly in the center of your work. What you're going to do with this grass cord on your right is you're going to go over those two horizontal cords and around them, around the bottom part of the O-ring, and then you're going to come up the middle of your two cords, but you want to bring your grass cord to the right side of your working cord. So go over and around that bottom part of the O-ring, come up the middle, but you want to be on the right side of your cord, so just pull that over to the right, and then you can pull it through. Next, you're going to take your grass cord that is on your left side now, and you're going to push that again through the O-ring. You're going to go around those two horizontal pieces, again, around the bottom part of the O-ring. You're going to come up through the middle, but you want to be on the left side of your working cord. So go over and around, go up through the middle, and then just put it on the left side of your working cord and pull it through. Now I'm going to take the striped cord and I'm going to go through the O-ring with the one on the right. And it starts to get kind of congested in this area. Just take your time. For the striped cord on the right, you'll be doing the same thing that you did with the grass cord. So you're going to go around those two horizontal pieces and the bottom part of the O-ring. You're going to come up through the middle, but you want to be on the right side of your working cord. The one good thing about it being congested in this area is that the two horizontal cords and the bottom of the O-ring are now held together because we've already wrapped two cords around them. So it makes it a little bit easier with that part. It's just a little hard to see what you're doing, so just take your time. So I'm going to take my striped cord now, and I'm going to be in between when I'm going around the two grass cords. So I'm going to go around those two horizontal pieces, bottom part of the O-ring, come up through the middle, but then I'm going to be on the right side of my cord, and I'm going to pull it through. Now you're going to take your striped cord on the left and put it through the O-ring. I'm going to go around those 2 horizontal cords, bottom part of the O-ring, come up through the middle, but then be on the left side of my working cord. Go around, come up the middle, and then just put it on the left side of your working cord and pull it through. And now the baby blue cord, same thing. Go through the O-ring with the right cord. You're going to put it in between the 2 striped cords, and you're going to go around the bottom part. You're going to go around the 2 horizontal cords as well as the bottom part of the O-ring. You're going to come up through the middle, but now you're going to take it to the right side of your working cord and pull that through. Take the one on the left, go through the O-ring, and you're going to go around the 2 horizontal cords and the bottom part of the O-ring. You're going to come up the middle, but you want to take it to the left side of your working cord. Pull that through. Now we can tighten it up. As you're tightening up, you can feed the grass, the striped, and the baby blue cord through the O-ring. It helps with tightening it up and making everything nice and like smoothed out and flat. Once we have that tightened up, we can start the weave all over again. You can also roll up all of your other cords that were loose if you'd like. It does make it a little bit easier to work with. And we're going to be starting off on our right side with our Coyote. We're going to go underneath that first cord, right up the middle, and then over. Take the Coyote on the left, go underneath the cord that you just worked. Go underneath that first cord down that's on your left, right up the middle, and then over that second cord. Now we're going to take our Holy Guacamole on the right side. We're going to go underneath all of our work and then right up the middle. And then we have this loop here on our right side. We're going to go down that loop. Take the one on the left now. Go underneath all of your work right up the middle. You have this loop right here on your right side. We're going to go down that loop. Now you're going to find those 2 horizontal Coyote pieces in the middle. You're going to take your grass on the right side. We're going to go over and around and out the right. Over, around, and out the right. Take the grass on the left. And we're going to go over and around, but we're going to go out the left. Over, around, and out the left. Take your striped now on your right. You're going to go over and around and out your right. Take the one on the left. You're going to go over and around and out the left. And now the baby blue. Take the one on the right, go over, around, and out the right. Take the one on the left, and you're going to go over and around, but out the left. Over, around, and out the left. And then you can tighten it up. Once you finish tightening it up, we can start again on our right side. We're going to take our Coyote, go right up the middle, and then over. Take the one on the left, go underneath the cord that you just worked. Right up the middle, and then over. Next, we're going to take the Holy Guacamole on our right side. We're going to go underneath our work, right up the middle, and then down that loop on our right, take the one on the left, go underneath, right up the middle, and then down that loop on the left. Find those two Coyote horizontal pieces, take your grass on your right, go over and around and out the right, take the grass on the left, go over and around and out the left, take your striped now on your right, you're going to go over and around those two horizontal pieces and out the right, take the one on the left, go over and around and out the left, take your baby blue on the right and go over and around and out the right, take the one on the left and go over and around and out the left, and then you can tighten it up. Alright, so I went a few weaves down and this is what it's looking like so far. I wanted to show you a bigger portion done. And I am going to continue the same weave all the way down the collar, and when I get to the end I'll show you guys how I do my tie off and what it looks like when it's completely finished. Okay, so I've finished my collar and I took off my jig, and now I'm ready to weave in the top cords. And the cords that I'm going to be weaving in are, I'm going to be weaving in the grass green on both sides, the neon striped cord on both sides, and also the baby blue on both sides. The way we're going to start is we're going to take our grass green on our right side. You have a gap. I want to tighten it up a little bit. So I have a gap right here between my work and my double cow's hitches. I'm going to take my grass green and go through that gap from front to back. I'm also going to take the grass green on the other side, as well as the striped cord on both sides, and they're all going to go through that gap. Once you have all your cords going through that gap, what you're going to do with the baby blue now is you have a small hole in between your two cow's hitches. You're going to take both baby blue cords and go from front to back through that hole. Okay, once you've finished putting those cords from front to back, what we're going to do is start to cut and melt our cords. I like to start on my sides, and I'm going to cut about 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch up. I'm going to fray them out. And then I'm going to melt the tops and then squish them down. I'm going to start with the top one. Now I'll do the bottom one. And I'll do the same for the opposite side. Once you have the two sides done, we can start with these middle cords. I'm going to start on my right side with the grass green. And I'm going to cut about the same amount up from the collar. Ugh. I give up with these scissors. There we go. I'm going to fray them out. and I'm going to melt it and squish it down the same way that I did the ones on the side. And I'll do the grass green on the other side next, then these two middle cords, and then the two blue. And I'll cut them and melt them all the same way, one at a time. Alright, once you are finished melting the ends, you can use your collar as is if you'd like. But I like to put a little bit of Gorilla Glue on the ends that I melted. So I use clear non-foaming Gorilla Glue. I just put a little bit on the ends that I have melted, and I smear it around with my finger. So I'm going to do this, and once this is dry, I will let you guys see what the finished result looks like.